In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to budget and save as a couple. This video would be very useful to any couple that is very fresh in their relationship, or they have not been saving much in the last couple of years, or they have been saving haphazardly. So what we have tried to do is give a structure to it and given you 7 important points that will help you save and budget better. So before we get into this video, guys, there's a card that will show up now. This is a subscription giveaway that we are doing for 10,000 rupees, that's $150. In order to participate, all you need to do is go to that link, watch that 1-minute video, click subscribe and comment done. And on December 25th, we will be announcing one winner chosen randomly.
Now let's get back into the video.
When a couple gets together for the first time, there are 2 different styles of spending, there are 2 different styles of living. It's actually very difficult for them to adapt very easily.
In a relationship, one person is a spender, one person is a saver, or sometimes both people are spenders.
Yeah, like in our case, right? No.
I don't know. Like, I think there was an evolution that happened in our...
So in our mid-20s, I think both of us, we spent a lot, and we were living lavishly, we were going out for dinners, we were going out for vacations.
Not thinking much about the future, about savings or such.
Exactly, and we lived like that, and I think it was okay for our mid-20s, don't you think?
Not really. Strategy number 1, complete disclosure. So initially when we started off our relationship, he used to do all the financial management of both our incomes, and so when there was a point when we decided, okay fine, now we need to really get serious about our lives and think about our savings, we sat down and had this discussion about how much savings do we have.
Yeah, and she asked me, do we have any money? So I was a little embarrassed, so I had to finally take her through the income that we have had and whatever spendings that we have had, and unfortunately the spending was actually more than our income in most cases.
We were actually drowning in credit card bills at that point.
Yes, so that brings us to the first point that we want to talk to you guys about.
That is complete disclosure of your finances with your partner.
Yes.
It is the first and the most embarrassing or most uncomfortable step to do, but it's a very important step to do because it is very important to know what your partner's income is, what their future plan is, just to have a general discussion and disclosure of what are the liabilities you have, so that both of you are on the same page and can actually start with the savings plan.
Exactly, because if you don't do this, guys, there is going to be a lot of anguish, a lot of anger at a later point in time. It is better, as a couple, if you want to save money, it's better to disclose your financial liabilities as quickly as possible in the relationship and come to an understanding of this is where we stand. Strategy number 2, focus on your liabilities first.
Don't get into any liabilities, but if you have fallen into the trap and you're into any debts or any sort of credit card bills, the first step is to close those liabilities.
That's point number 2, closing your liabilities. As a couple, we reached a point where we had spent a lot and we had credit card bills, and finally when we had that conversation and that full disclosure, we realized this is where we stand. We spent the next year and a half only working on our credit card bills. We saved and we tried to close out our credit card bills. It took us a year and a half. That's the biggest demon, guys. If you can fight that demon and win against that demon of a credit card bill, you're pretty much on your way to savings.
So once you've cleared out your liabilities, now you're on the right path of saving. Strategy number 3, savings before spending. So until now, we were just spending whatever we wanted to and wherever we wanted to, and we used to save whatever was remaining, or sometimes not even save anything at all. So we changed our strategy to make sure that you save first, have an amount that you will for sure save, and spend only the amount that is remaining after saving a certain lump sum.
And for this, a very long-term strategy was required, and we had to think of some kind of investment where a lump sum amount of money goes every month. So there are multiple options available, guys. You can look at insurance plans, you can look at savings plans from banks, you can look at mutual funds. So in our case, we actually did a little bit of research together, and we came up with the super income plan from HDFC Bank, which was a fantastic plan. And so what the plan does is basically for 7 years you invest a lump sum, right? Every year you pay an amount, and the 8th year onwards you start accruing benefits which you get back. On the 15th year you actually get this final benefit. So overall you end up making about twice of what we invested over a period of 15 years. So this was a good plan, and also it was good for tax benefit also. It follows the ATC.
However, when we started the plan, we did struggle a bit, to make sure that lump sum was always available whenever it was required. But it helped us discipline ourselves in the savings pattern. So even though we struggled the first year, we made sure that next year onwards we would set aside a certain amount monthly to make sure it's invested in the long long-term plan. That helped us make sure that we kickstart our savings plan.
Strategy number 4, identify the saver and the spender. Now, in our relationship, clearly I was a spender and she was a saver. And
We realized it much later in our relationship.
yeah, we realized it a little late. So it is important to learn this as quickly as possible, understand who's the saver, who's the spender.
And if you both are savers, that's excellent.
Yeah.
But if you both are spenders,
If you are both spenders, then you definitely need to see the remaining 3 points. It's very important for you. So in our case, I was the spender, she was the saver. So it was very important for us to transfer the bulk of my salary to her account as quickly as possible.
so every month we use Tauseef's part of the salary to pay the rent, to pay the EMI, to pay the electricity bill, which would constitute for about 30% of the complete his salary.
Correct.
And about 10% of his salary he'd keep for his own personal expenses, and the remaining 60% he would transfer into my account, which
Yeah.
he could not access.
Yeah.
Strategy number 5: stack it where you can't see it. Now that I have 60% of his income and also the money that I made from my own projects and business, I thought of a strategy that I could come up with to save this money. I came up with a strategy called stack it where you can't see it. So basically I have an account where it's an old school account where I don't have the internet banking activated. I do not have a credit card or a debit card attached to it or anything of that sort. So I only have to go and actually write a check to withdraw the money. So what I do is I put 15% of the total amount into that account, which is completely untouched.
Yes.
That sort of helped us just not touch that amount. So there is a certain amount that just goes into that account, which we have planned out for our later investments that we have in our mind. Strategy number 6: split the spendings into buckets. So now we have saved the money that we had to save, and we have the remaining money that we need to spend. So now it leads to our next strategy, which is to put the remaining money into spending buckets. Now this could include things like your grocery, your departmental store, your expenses for your child, or whatever little expenses that you have for the month.
Yeah.
And you put that in different buckets, but make sure that you don't cross the limit of that bucket.
Correct.
So you can use apps for this. You could actually even draw in your notebook, or make notes in your notebook and make sure you have that budgeted out for that month.
Right. So whatever money you save in each of these buckets that you have created goes into the final bucket, which is the reward bucket. So that takes us to strategy number 7, which is reward yourself. Now you have created this reward bucket and use this money for any kind of extravagances. For example, so going out for special dinners, having a staycation, or going on a trip. And just be clear that you don't use any of your long-term investment money. You don't touch the hidden account. You only use money that has actually fallen into your reward bucket. So this is the money that you use.
So this is a small way of just rewarding yourself that you've worked so hard to make sure you save the amount of money that you have to,
Yeah.
and you have that little money that you can just spend on yourself and
Exactly.
enjoy. So these were a few strategies that we have applied in our life so far and has started working for us.
Yeah, I would say it's still a work in progress. A lot of things we are still working on. We are able to compartmentalize in terms of our spending, and it's helping us budget our financials in a way and also save money.
These strategies really work for any couple that is not very good at savings, because this forces you to make sure, the first step is it forces you to make sure that you are investing in a long-term
Yes.
plan. So that really forces that process, and once you see, okay, I'm able to do that, then you move and progress into the next step. They will help you in making sure that your savings are split into multiple streams.
So basically, these are the 7 strategies that any couple that is trying to save and budget should know about. So that's the video, guys. So I hope you liked the video. I hope you got some insights into how do you budget and how do you save.
Or at least gave you some ideas of how to just start.
And if you have any more ideas that you think will really help us save, please do mention them in the comments. We would really appreciate that. Maybe we can try a few of your ideas too. Keep watching our videos and we will come back to you very shortly with a new video. Thank you so much and bye-bye.
Bye.